So then another situation, you had a concert in Kansas City where Copy got drunk and blacked out.
Yeah.
And he got jumped. He was on stage dissing the DJ and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, Copy was wild, man. That's my guy. Shout out to Copyright.
Shout out to Copyright, bro.
Sometimes, not always, because usually you're just like blacked out, then you wake up the next day. But sometimes you'll regain consciousness like in the middle of the blackout. And it's almost like that show Quantum Leap, like where you're thrown in the middle of a situation and you just have to deal with it. You don't know how you got there or what they're mad about. So I regained consciousness and I'm like I'm in the middle of all this. I'm running towards, that's why I say that was true, that I was trying to flag down cars, because I regained consciousness and I definitely was doing that. And I'd also remember getting up off the ground, getting kicked and shit like that. And my Movado was scratched up. But I remember thinking like, damn, this Movado is like durable as fuck, because it just had a couple scratches and shit. And they were like going, you know what I mean? They're kicking the shit out of me. So that's all true, man. That's all true. And that was fucked up, man.
What do you remember about that event? Because it was your concert.
Copyright.
And your city.
So we were at this venue called the Record Bar. The Record Bar, it's a great, legendary Kansas City music venue. And it's actually in a new location now. It's about a 500 capacity room. Played there many times. Love the Record Bar. Great sound, great venue. They used to be in a different location in Westport, which is a neighborhood in Kansas City, Missouri. And it was a much smaller venue, like maybe 250 capacity. And this is an important thing to say because it had a parking lot. And that's a rare thing for a venue in pretty much any city you go to. But in Kansas City, if you're at a music venue, the likelihood that it has a parking lot that you could park your car in right out front is very rare that you would find that. This is important, though, because just remember the parking lot. So the way the night goes is Copyright gets on stage. And if I remember correctly, I might be wrong about this detail, but if I remember correctly, he was on tour with Vast Air from Cannibal Ox.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong about that, but I believe that he was opening up for Vast on tour. That was their tour bill. And they came into town, and Copyright, he gets on stage, and this is a thing, I don't think anybody has talked about this in the versions of the stories that I've seen. Copyright stands on stage and he starts flicking pennies at people in the crowd. So he gets on stage and he's drunk, like he's like wobbling, like already drunk. And so he's like dissing the DJ, talking shit. And then he reaches into his pocket and he has pennies and he's flipping them at people in the fucking and hitting them. Like there's people that are there to watch him perform and he's hitting them with coins, like flicking fucking coins and hitting them with them. So he starts performing, and I want to say that he made it like 2 songs in before somebody came from the crowd. I know who it is. I know everybody, not everybody, but most of the people that were affiliated with this, that were a part of this, they got on stage and started beating his ass. And the thing about Kansas City, bro, is Kansas City is always, there's this weird inferiority complex that a lot of people in Kansas City have, which is they need to prove that they're like a big city. Like we don't need to be in New York or LA. Why go there when you could be here in Kansas City? It's this weird complex that a lot of Kansas City people have. And then there's a lot of people in Kansas City that always have to prove to out-of-towners that they're tough and that they'll fuck you up. There used to be a shirt that it said, "Welcome to Kansas City, duck motherfucker," and people would wear it, had like a gun on it. And it was like, it's everybody's so extra with the like, we'll fuck you up here if you say the wrong thing. It's just always been a part of the way people are. I used to have a TV show on MTV and we filmed an episode in Kansas City, and like the amount of people that were like trying to fuck with the crew when we were out on the street trying to film, trying to fight and shit was insane. So there's a group of people watching Copywrite perform. He's flicking pennies at them, dissing the crowd, fuck Kansas City, fuck you. And they get on stage and they start beating him up on stage. Like they're fucking kicking his ass while he's on stage. And they beat him up. He falls off of the stage in the venue. They're continuing to beat him up, punching him in the face. He's not responding with punches back. He's just taking shot after shot, blood on his face, thrown out of the venue into the street.
You know what's so crazy is that he described it that he had blacked out, and then like when he came to, he just saw a whole bunch of people coming after him, and then he just had to respond, and like he didn't even know what was going on, what caused it.
Yeah, you could tell. That's my biggest problem with this has always been he was a clearly defenseless person. He was a clearly completely drunk, incapacitated person that could not fight, and they were beating him up anyways. Yeah, he was too drunk to be on stage. They probably should have thrown him out the venue, but they were doing what people in Kansas City do is they beat him up and then they just continued to beat him up. And he
and
goes out.
Could not fight. You mean because he was too drunk?
Too drunk. He was.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is he couldn't fight because he was already beat up. Like he was knocked out, already drunk when he got on stage. He wasn't hitting anybody. It wasn't gonna happen. You hit him fucking 30 times already. He's done. Everybody takes L's, bro. It happens. He was drunk. He got beat up. It happens. You know, like when you're fucked up, you can't fight. And he was so fucked up that he was, again, the 2 times I've seen him like really fight, he was just blackout drunk, like in a way where he couldn't even compose himself. Like, and that's not to speak against his fighting skills or anything like that. I don't know what his fighting skills are. I'm just saying he was so drunk in these moments that he wasn't going to do anything to anybody, yet they were kicking the shit out of him. They dragged him outside, beat him up outside even more. And then we're in the parking lot and he starts trying to get into cars in the parking lot. He's so drunk that they're punching him in the face, and he's opening cars in the parking lot trying to get inside of them, and he can't because they're locked. He ends up stumbling out into the street, and he falls down in the middle of Westport Road, which is like a busy road. He falls down in the road, and then he gets up, and then there's moving cars that are like stopping, trying to get by him. And Copy is like opening the car doors of cars that he doesn't even know these people. And he's trying to get into their cars to get away. And these people are still following. They beat him up for like 20 minutes, bro. And it was just a thing where it was like, it was too much. It was excessive. And
so this
I remember
is the part that they were talking about, because on the forum post, the person said that he was trying to hail a cab or something like that.
I mean, I think that would be one way of putting it, but it was more or less just trying to get into cars because he was scared for his life, and anybody would be, for the record. That's not a thing that you go through where you have 7 people, you're completely outnumbered, they're beating the shit out of you, and you're not trying to hail a cab or get into a car or do what you can to seek refuge from what's happening. I mean, that's what any normal fucking person would do.
Right, for sure. And shout out to Copy, man. But that was a rough time period for him, you know, because I did an interview with M80. You know M80?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And he said that he did a show with Copy during that time period, and the promoter wouldn't pay Copy. So then Copy started, he was drunk, and he ended up with 3 purses somehow. And he was trying to walk off with 3 purses.
We did a show together one time in Half Moon Bay that was fucking hilarious. Like, the guy putting on the show was this rapper named Crazy K, who, again, like Aguilar, like Rasul, or, you know, manic depressive, bipolar, whatever. So I get my deposit when I signed the contract, and I think I'm owed like $500 or $600. He took care. I think I was getting like $1,250, $1,500. and my flight and hotel and shit like that for the show. And as soon as I got there, like literally, as soon as I got to that city, I went to him and got my money, like the balance. Cool. When Copyright got there, he's like, "Did you already get paid?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool, I'm gonna go ask dude for my money." And the guy's like, "I gave all my money to M80. Like, I need to wait, and I'll pay you from the door." And the Half Moon Bay isn't like a rap town. It's not San Jose. It's not Oakland. It's not San Francisco. So like the door money just wasn't there. And this is when Copyright was getting trashed and shit. And I think at one point in time, Copyright stole 3 girls' purses and like got checked like as he was getting ready to leave. He's like, "No, I was just like trying to find whose purses these belong to." It was funny. He did nothing. No violence happened, and he left unscathed and still performed and put on a good show. But I don't think the guy ever came up with his balance of money. So Copy just had to take what the guy had.
And the funny thing is, Copy was saying, he's like, "I don't remember that, but it kind of sounded like something I would do."
Wow. I think the funniest part about Copyright in all of these stories is that he doesn't remember any of it, and he also doesn't deny any of it. Like, that's been one of the best parts.
He knows that it's something that it sounds like him.
Yeah, that's the funniest part about it, is that like he's like, "Yeah, I was probably really fucked up. That sounds about right. That sounds like something that I would have done." And it's funny because he clearly was going through sorry, I got to move my camera again. He was clearly going through like a tough kind of dark period in his life, and at least he acknowledges it. He's a good dude, man. Like, Copyright is a good guy.
I know, man. I got so much love and respect for Copy, definitely. But the best thing, the reason why I felt our interview was so good was because he didn't duck any of that.
Yeah, for sure.
And how many people are willing to really come on camera and admit, yeah, you know what, I got fucked up. I took an L on that one.
Yeah. And there was a period where he seemingly took quite a few L's, and it's just, but listen, man, like people have experiences with alcohol like that sometimes. And he went through a lot. He grew a lot. He became a new person. And yeah, man, like I think that it's good for him ultimately.
Yeah, for sure.